The Poleman is the backbone of every great squad. With access to the most overpowered weapons historically speaking, and a broken class ability, it does a great job at reminding the enemies they are not the main character. Today, we're going to go over every aspect of this subclass in depth to leave you with all the information you need to carve a path. Let's get right into it. The Poleman is a Footman. This means you're perfectly balanced. Your armor is higher than the Vanguard, but lower than the Knight. Your speed's faster than the Knight, but slower than the Vanguard. This has you tanking kicks, jabs, and low damage bladed weapons a little more than the Vanguard, but also keeping some of your mobility compared to the Knight. You are, however, susceptible to the damage bonuses of chop and blunt weapons to make up for the boost in health. Not as much as the Knight, but enough to matter. The Poleman has a kit that focuses on supporting the team in group fights with pole weapons that have good damage and incredible range. The kit includes 3 unique weapons, none of which are the quarterstaff, even though it's literally a pole. Oh my god, Tornbanner, how could you mess this up? Your primary weapons consist of the halberd, what I believe to be the best weapon in the game. It has the ability to 2-shot every class, long release windows on the swings, great range even when compared to the longest two-handed swords, and an almost overpowered sprint charge. The polehammer, a blunt variant of the halberd. It has great damage and range with an emphasis on targeting knights. It's also slightly faster than the halberd, but held back by the fact that it has hit stop. The spear, the most overpowered weapon historically speaking. This weapon has great damage and unparalleled range, being able to hit enemies over your allies' heads. However, it's held back by its inability to swing. The glaive, a relatively unimpactful weapon when compared to the other options, but not without its use. This weapon has incredibly fast attacks and more range than even the halberd, but its poor damage keeps it from utilizing said strengths. In general, your secondaries are very weak and will not be a large part of your gameplay using the Poleman, but they're still worth going over. Starting with the weakest option, the knife. The knife is arguably one of the worst weapons in the game, but if you find yourself getting disarmed, better than nothing. The hatchet. Somewhat quick and high damage. This will leave you better off than the knife, but you'll still feel the abysmal range. The short sword, a marginal improvement over the hatchet, with superior range and speed, but pathetic damage against knights. The cudgel, a worse version of the hatchet. The cudgel feels as if it has less damage on top of being afflicted with hit stop. This is not an option by any means. Lastly, the Poleman is equipped with spike traps. This trap can be used to reinforce a defensive position by covering a flank or giving you a vantage point to better lay damage down from. But it can also be used as a makeshift ramp to assist you in ways that are only limited by your creativity. Finally, the Poleman is able to assist his team with his unique class item which holds multiple charges, the bandage kit. An oddly packaged bundle of healing which can be thrown at an ally in need, slowly regenerating their health back to full. The bandage kit is one of the most unique class items in Chivalry 2, holding multiple charges which can be stored for later use up to 3 kits at once. When a bandage kit has been charged and an ally is in need of healing, an indicator will appear above their head, but you can also just target anyone who's bloody. Although, pay attention, as you don't want to target allies who have already bandaged themselves or are about to with healing. While this will increase the rate at which they regenerate health, generally it is wasteful, as that kit could have been used to heal an ally who ran out of bandages or is in the middle of combat. The bandage kit can also be used to revive downed allies and will even continue to heal them once they've gotten up. It's much faster to do this than to revive them manually and then heal them afterwards. This class item is not all that powerful, but in the hands of someone who can properly utilize the bandage kit, especially in a tight-knit squad, they can be a lifesaver. If the Warhorn is a large burst of healing all at once, the bandage kits are less impactful but more sustained healing over time. Overall, the Poleman kit, disregarding the glaive, is extremely powerful, with maximum range and great support options for the team, allowing you to reinforce your allies as the Evangelion of the team. When it comes to class abilities, the Poleman is unique in that it actually has 2. Being a Footman grants Poleman the ability to use sprint charge, but the Poleman also has access to tackle. I won't go too in-depth on sprint charge or tackle, as I already have a previous video which I'll link in the above card, but in short, the sprint charge is an attack where the player rushes forward with their weapon in front, dealing massive damage, which can be charged up by running at full sprint. The tackle can leave an enemy open to an ally's attack, while simultaneously granting you a free strike. Interestingly, performing a tackle with the spear performs a pole vault kick instead. The pole vault kick doesn't do any more damage than a normal tackle, and it's even harder to land, but it just looks so cool. Both abilities are a great tool to enter the action, but remember to focus on supporting your team, especially by utilizing your passive, Medic, which allows you to build up charges for your bandage kit by healing and reviving players. This encourages you to use your bandage kits on others that aren't yourself, as well as to revive teammates. The more people you save, the more bandage kits you'll build up to save even more. As an added bonus, the Poleman has 25% bonus damage to your sprint charge. This buffs your already crazy powerful charges to do great damage. Being a Poleman, you're the support class of the team. But in a game all about killing, support doesn't mean sitting behind the tank while he does all the work. In Chivalry 2, nobody's off killing duty. Do your best to fight at your optimal range, mid to long range melee battles with your teammates nearby to make up for your lack of close quarter strength. The Footman, although more armored than the Vanguard, is still squishy, so you should be dealing damage as far as possible. Heavy attacks that sweep through multiple enemies are your friends with these long release windows, as you should be attempting to hit as many people as possible with each attack. Once you charge up your bandage kit, prioritize heals on those who are lowest, and be sure to maintain awareness of who's already regenerating health so as to not waste your charges. Be sure to also target any downed teammates, as it saves a lot of time to heal and revive them in one fell swoop. If you're paying attention, you can revive a teammate right as he goes down to save him from being finished off by the enemy. When it comes to utilizing the spike trap, you'll find that many of your lives you won't even be using it. But if there's a specific objective that feels as if you'll benefit from it, then use it. On offense, I find myself using the spike trap as a glorified ramp to get past certain barriers, but on defense, it functions as a genuine defensive measure against the Horde. Overall, the Poleman is a powerful subclass with some of the best weapons in the game that's only held back by its reasonably mediocre class stats. With what I believe to be the best weapon in the game and sufficient tools to support allies, it's a great subclass with a unique build. For these reasons, I consider the Poleman S tier on offense and A tier on defense. Now you're ready to support the team. Go on and save your team, you doob.